Let's read my follower stories.
Turning home after years of travel in the world was a mix of excitement and uncertainty. The house was familiar, yet different, with new memories layered over the old. My father's remarriage was one of those changes, and the biggest one at that. Sophia, his new wife, had moved in while I was away, bringing along her daughter, Lily. I hadn't given much thought to what it would be like to have a stepsister, especially one my age, until the moment I met her. The first dinner back home was a bit awkward at first. I was trying to adjust to being back, to having new people in the house. But Sophia was warm and welcoming, making it easy to feel comfortable. Lily, on the other hand, was quieter, more reserved. She sat across from me, pushing her food around her plate, only occasionally joining the conversation. But there was something about her that caught my attention immediately, something I couldn't quite put my finger on. As the evening went on, the conversation started to flow more naturally. My father was eager for us all to bond, and soon enough, we were all laughing together. Lily slowly opened up, sharing stories about her life, her interests, and her dreams. We discovered that we had a lot in common: books, movies, travel. There was a connection between us, one that felt easy and natural, yet somehow deeper than I expected. After dinner, Lily suggested we take a walk. The night was cool, the sky clear, and the stars bright above us. We walked down a familiar path that led to the river, our footsteps crunching on the gravel, the silence between us comfortable. We reached the river bank, where the water flowed steadily, reflecting the starlight. It was a place I had often come to as a child, to think, to dream. Now, I found myself standing there with Lily, feeling a strange mix of emotions that I couldn't quite explain. For a while, we stood in silence, just listening to the sounds of the night. Finally, I turned to her, feeling the weight of the unspoken words between us. "Lily," I began, unsure of how to phrase what I was feeling, "do you ever get the sense that there's something more between us?" She looked at me, her eyes thoughtful, her expression unreadable. "I've been feeling something too, John, but I don't know what to do with it. It's complicated." "Yeah," I agreed, my heart racing. "We're supposed to be family now, but I can't stop thinking about you, about us." Lily sighed, looking out at the river. "I don't know what to do either. We're step-siblings, and that changes everything. But it's hard to ignore, whatever this is." I nodded, understanding exactly what she meant. Maybe we don't have to figure it all out right now. Maybe we just take things one step at a time, see where this goes. She turned back to me, a small smile on her lips. "One step at a time," she echoed, her voice filled with both hope and uncertainty. Over the next few weeks, Lily and I spent a lot of time together. We continued to get to know each other, finding comfort in our shared interests and the ease with which we could talk. But there was always that underlying tension, a current that ran just beneath the surface. It was in the small things, the way our hands would brush against each other, the way our eyes would meet and hold for just a moment too long. It was clear that something was growing between us, something that neither of us could ignore. But with that closeness came confusion and doubt. We were constantly aware of the fact that we were step-siblings, that our relationship was supposed to be one of family, not romance. There were moments when we pulled back, unsure of whether we were doing the right thing. But no matter how hard we tried to keep our feelings at bay, they kept resurfacing, stronger each time. One evening, as autumn settled in and the leaves began to change, we found ourselves back at the river bank. The air was crisp, the colors of the sunset casting a warm glow over everything. We sat side by side, the silence between us heavier than usual. I could tell that Lily was lost in thought, just as I was, and I knew that we couldn't keep going like this forever. "I've been thinking," Lily said softly, breaking the silence, "about us, and where this is going." I turned to look at her, her profile illuminated by the fading light. "Yeah, me too. It's hard trying to figure out what's right." She sighed, her breath visible in the cool air. "I don't want to live in hiding, John. I don't want to keep sneaking around, pretending that everything is normal when it's not." Her words struck a chord with me. I didn't want that either, but the fear of what might happen if we were honest was overwhelming. "I'm scared," I admitted, my voice barely above a whisper. "I'm scared of what this could do to our family." "Me too," she said, her voice trembling slightly. "But I don't want to lose what we have. I don't want to lose you." I reached out, taking her hand in mine, feeling the warmth of her skin against the coolness of the night. "We'll figure it out," I promised, squeezing her hand gently. We'll take it slow, be honest with each other, and see where this leads. Lily looked at me, her eyes filled with the mix of emotions, fear, hope, love. Together, she said, her voice steady. Together, I echoed, feeling a sense of calm settle over me. In the weeks that followed, we continued to explore our relationship, taking things one step at a time. We were careful not to rush, knowing that what we had was fragile, but also worth fighting for. The more time we spent together, the more certain we became that our connection was real, something deeper than either of us had ever experienced before. But with that certainty came the inevitable challenges. We couldn't keep our relationship a secret forever, and the longer we waited, the harder it became to hide our feelings. There were close calls, moments when our parents almost caught on, and each time, the fear of what might happen if they found out grew stronger. One night, as winter began to creep in and the days grew shorter, we found ourselves sitting by the fire in the living room. Our parents had gone to bed early, leaving us alone in the quiet of the house. The fire crackled softly, casting flickering shadows on the walls. Lily was curled up next to me, her head resting on my shoulder, her hand entwined with mine. "I don't want to hide anymore," she said suddenly, her voice breaking the silence. "I'm tired of pretending, of sneaking around. I want to be honest with our parents, to tell them the truth about how we feel." Her words hung in the air between us, heavy with the weight of what they meant. I had known this moment would come, had known that we couldn't keep our secret forever. But now that it was here, the reality of it felt overwhelming. "I'm scared," I admitted, my voice barely above a whisper. "I'm scared of how they'll react, of what it might do to our family." Lily turned to look at me, her eyes filled with determination. "I'm scared too, but I don't want to live in fear anymore. We've been through so much together, and I don't want to lose what we have because we're afraid of what might happen." I nodded, knowing she was right. "You're right. We can't keep living like this. We need to be honest, even if it's hard." So, that night, we made a decision. We would tell our parents the truth, no matter the consequences. We would face whatever came our way, knowing that we had each other to lean on. The next morning, as the sun rose on a new day, we sat down with our parents and told them everything. It was one of the hardest things I've ever done, watching the shock and confusion in their eyes as we explained our feelings, as we tried to make them understand what we had been going through. There were tears, raised voices, and moments of silence so heavy that it felt like the air had been sucked out of the room. But through it all, we stood by each other, refusing to back down, refusing to let go of what we had. In the end, it wasn't easy, but our parents came to understand. It took time, a lot of time, for them to fully accept our relationship, but they did. They saw how much we meant to each other, how much we were willing to fight for our love, and they realized that they couldn't stand in the way of that. It wasn't the happily ever after I had always imagined, but it was real, and it was ours. We faced challenges, doubts, and moments of fear, but we also found joy, love, and a connection that was unbreakable. As the years passed, our love only grew stronger. We faced the world together, hand in hand, always knowing that no matter what came our way, we would find a way through it, because we had each other. And that, in the end, was all that mattered.
Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. If you want to share your story, write it down in the comments. Peace.